I went to the Gap and I said, let me try to do something, and I couldn't get past the politics. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I got it. I know it. I can do it. Give me a shot. Our first night we sold 83,000 tour merch. In one night. So imagine if you take these type of thoughts and connect it with a corporation like the Gap.
Welcome to Late Breakfast. I'm Taurian B.
I'm First Class Regg.
Well, Kanye West has been in the headlines a lot as of late. It's been reported that he just inked a 10-year deal with Gap to have his Yeezy line produced with them. I do not want to butcher this girl's name.
It's Moa Lola Ogunlezi.
Okay.
Moa Lola.
Thank you. Say it again so we can have
Moa Lola Ogunlezi.
Moa Lola.
Thank you, Cosi, because I couldn't, but I'm sorry, I couldn't. So with that news, it was a big deal because, as we know, if you heard the song Spaceships and you listened to a Kanye West interview, he always wanted to make mass production of his clothes. It's kind of a part of the reason why he's befriended Trump, was because he wants to get his factories built in America, and he wants to get discounts on the land, and he had to, do what he had to do to get that done, right? So it was a lot of significance, and then there was a lot of controversy around it because a designer named Telfar lost their deal, and people felt like the Gap moved away from Telfar because of Kanye, but the reports came out that it was two separate teams of Gap, and they just stepped away from Telfar because they're losing money, and this deal just happened to be the sexier one, right? Then we also found out that Kanye West is releasing a new album, God's Country, and is going to be mixed by Dr. Dre, man with arguably the best ear in hip hop or in music, as some might say. But Quincy Jones is still alive, so I won't say that. But what are your guys' thoughts on Kanye's latest news cycle? He's been quiet. He hasn't, given it many sound bites. He put out a press release, in celebration of this new deal with the Gap. But what do you guys think?
The promo run is here. The new Kanye album is going to drop. We don't know when, and I guarantee you, he doesn't know when. It's going to be really, really incredible. It's going to be entertaining because with the recent press promo runs for Kanye has been, just him finding God, him and Trump. Like this I want to know, every single promo run for Kanye is very, very entertaining, and you just can't forget a Kanye West promo run. So I'm very, very happy he's back, and I hope he's more vocal this time.
I'm just not even looking forward to this shit. Like I don't care.
Damn, Regg.
That's where I've been for the last 3 years with Kanye.
Like with this Kanye rollout is like with I'm just exhausted from the other ones. Like there's just been, every time Kanye's coming out, it's just mad news that we have to digest. It's mad shit. It's just, he has to take us on this roller coaster through his stream of consciousness, and like it's just too much. I don't care. Like I'm gonna listen to the album, but I don't think I'm gonna watch the interviews. Like, and I've never got to this point with Kanye where like some shit drops and I'm just like, okay, I mean, whatever.
I think at this point for me, like piggybacking off of Regg's point, every time he comes out with something, it feels like such a chore. Like right now, I feel like my mom is asking me to take out the garbage because another Kanye rollout is starting, and I'm just already tired of the shit.
So are we not happy?
James said
so
it's already in the trash.
So are we not happy that a black man?
Don't do that.
Wait, are we not happy that a black man inked a 10-year deal with the Gap for his clothing line? Like,
I'm completely happy for him.
Yeah. Okay. So let's separate. Because what I'm saying is that we're conflating both things together. The album. Regg's point makes sense. The album, I'm not excited for the album. After the whole, the runs that he's had with the 7 albums, 7 songs, once a month, all that, I'm cool because that was a lot, right? But I think that, okay, so the Gap deal, right? 10 years in, the problem that I have with the Gap deal, I think is great. But at the same time, I'm looking at who he's giving these opportunities to, because it's going to be, the headquarters are going to be at the Gap's headquarters, which is in Cody, Wyoming. So he's creating jobs, but he's not creating jobs for the Black community. I have an issue with that. So I'm happy for Kanye. This is what he's always wanted. From Yeezy started, we remember when he couldn't even get funding. We remember when he was crying broke. We remember when we didn't even know we were going to get the Yeezy seasons. And to Chloe's point, you're right. Does he make clothing for the Black community overall in general, and then partnering with the Gap? Probably less so, because they don't really cater to full-figured women across the anyway. So that in that area, there are a couple red flags with this. If you look at it and just say Kanye caught a deal with the Gap, that's cool. But I wish that he could have created job opportunities for brown people. I wish that he could have, in a way, kind of bought headquarters space in an urban community to kind of create the opportunities. But the album, I think that he could have did that separately, because I think it does feel like a promo run. And him doing the album promo at the same time as this, in a way, kind of diminishes it. Because if this was by itself, we would be paying a bit more of attention to this. But now we're looking at it like, wait a minute, we don't see him as being genuine. We don't see him as being genuine.
It's always been like it. It's always a package deal with Kanye. It's always
that's always been his rollout, though. Yeah.
That's what a package deal with.
Reg, go ahead.
I may not like Kanye. I may not like Kanye for his musical ability at the moment, but his business acumen has always been on point to me.
But
I think he's always been.
This is why this feels so overwhelming. My bad, Rob. This is why this feels so overwhelming, because we know that it's not just one thing. We know that it's gonna be coupled with his music. It's gonna, like, even his tweets now. He said he announced this. He announced cartoon with Cudi. He announced new music. He announced some other exclusive drop that he has, and it was all 4 or 5 things in one that's coming.
It was a PowerPoint presentation
that's coming out now. So it's all overwhelming, because this is all, and I don't have the energy for that shit right now.
It's because he's at a place where the music and what he does as an artist just no longer musically doesn't speak for itself. He has no choice but to accompany it.
But I think but to the business point, I still think it works.
Maybe if it dropped in increments where he was like, yo, he announced the Yeezy deal, let niggas digest that and be like, oh, cool, and then a month or 2 later, oh, here's a song, guys. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm working on an album. How normal people do it sometimes.
I still think Regg, bro, with the Gap deal, what a lot of people haven't mentioned thus far, he's set up to fail with that Gap deal. It's a 10-year deal with a 5-year renegotiating process, but he has to ink them $1 billion.
Yeah.
That's
you don't think he's not going to do that?
Hold on.
That's not going to be a problem for Kanye.
Hold on. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I can't tell you the last time I stepped foot in a Gap, right?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. But for the Gap to the reason why the Telfair deal didn't go in is because they heard $1 billion over 10 years. So Kanye has to keep a 10-year run he has to give this company $10 billion when they were about to file bankruptcy 3 years ago. So technically, if you look at it, it's kind of like, yo, you got to save our ass. That's a lot of pressure, bro.
It's not going to happen.
He's going to do it.
It's not going to happen.
So all I'm saying is, when the first project come out, maybe year 1, 2, 3, 4, Yeezy season 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe he might get them $4 billion. But in 2030, do I think that he's going to give the Gap over $10 billion? I hope so.
I thought it was $1 billion.
No, but it's $1 billion over 10 years.
No, but not $10 billion.
No, it's annually. It's $1 billion annually.
You said $10 billion first.
So it's $1 billion annually but it's a 10-year deal. Yes. But in year 5, he has the ability to renegotiate. So hopefully it works out in his favor. But overall, when I saw that, I was like, well, you know what? I know we was talking about the interviews later. he had one of those moments when he first won the Grammy. Everybody was like, "Yo, what would Kanye do if I didn't win?" I guess we'll never know, right? He had that moment, and I think once again he had that moment again because in the earlier when he was going on them rants, he talked about this moment. Kanye damn near manifested this moment. Like he always spoke about. It's even from Spaceships, as early as Spaceships, and to his interview saying like, "Yo, he just want to do capsule pieces for the Gap. He want to give back by creating uniforms, this, that, and the third." So
he created white people.
Huh? I mean, yeah, but I remember growing up that I got some uniform pieces from the Gap. So maybe I benefited from that as a black kid growing up. Am I happy to say that I shopped at the Gap? So what?
But is he going to price it like French toast? No.
But the Gap, it is going to be affordable. Like I don't think the Gap is going to be selling.
Yeah, it's the Gap.
Yeah. I mean, out of the tier of Banana Republic, Old Navy and Gap.
Old Navy and the Gap.
Yeah, I think Gap is the little.
It's the middle. It's the middle.
Yeah, so I think that would be the leverage of the kids feeling like, yo, I'm able to have
Gap, Old Navy, and Banana Republic. They're all the same company.
Yeah, right. So
but the tiers are different.
But yeah, I think Gap is, if I'm not mistaken, Gap may be the middle one.
Gap is in the middle. Yeah, Gap's in the middle.
So with that being said, the price point would be affordable. So I'd rather root for him than to think of his downfall, but I just think it's a lot of pressure for him to succeed. But I'm glad he got his moment.
Thinking of his downfall.
I think what a lot of people are what Kanye is maybe not calculating in his numbers and his projections is the fact that he's put such a disconnect between him and the black community, especially the disconnect between him and the black female community, which has the highest buying power in America. Black people spend the most in this country, more than they earn. And I think there's been and unfortunately now when we talk about separating the art from the person, unfortunately Kanye has put himself in a position where people cannot disassociate his words and his actions from what he said and done to the black community, going as far as to the fact that he's not even married to a black woman, he's married to a white woman who a lot of black women resent and look at as an imposter and an appropriator of our culture. For a while now, we felt like we've lost Kanye, like he's not even here rooting for us anymore. Like we don't even feel supported by that person in music as well as in the culture by the things that he's said. And we love Soul Service, and it's great that he's come back and touched on the gospel, and people always want to come back and find God and have a choir behind them when they know that they fucked up. But unfortunately right now, me as a black woman in America, I don't feel like Kanye represents me, and I haven't felt like the Gap represented me ever. And I used to fucking work there. They don't make clothes for our body type. They make clothes for middle American people with flat white asses who can barely get out of bed in the morning. When you think Velveeta cheese is how you add to macaroni and cheese. So I think, and right now, this deal, it sounds great. And of course, I'm happy to see a black person win, but am I going to be the one to support him? No. The people that I fuck with around me in my corner, are we going to the Gap to buy Kanye clothes? Not really.
Nah.
Not really.
Right. Here's a funny thing. I don't think Kanye's Kanye's fan base is not even to black people anymore.
No,
so I'm gonna keep it all the way stacked. Look. 5 years ago, I looked at Kanye when he said, yo, I'm leaving Nike, I'm going to Adidas. And I was like, the only people that buy Adidas are whatever. Like, it's irrelevant. I didn't even give a fuck. Paid no attention to it, didn't care. I was like, it's going to flop, it's going to be trash. I'm not paying attention, I don't care. I can stand here and be like, yo, I'm completely wrong on that. I watched this man take a business that was second tier to Nike for at least 25 years, for the better part of our lifetime, beat them as a number one sports selling good in a year, where it was looked like it was impossible. I think that, granted, he doesn't sell to us, but the younger generation look at Kanye way different than we do. Mm-hmm. There are some people that we take Kanye from college dropout to graduation to 808s and heartbreaks. That man cultivated a whole new audience by Yeezus. And anything that man puts out, they buy. They don't give a fuck where it comes from.
Can I say why
they view him very differently than we view him. And I think that audience is going to be very different as well. And I think that the fact that even the note that he left in Chicago was a big moment. I think, we have our resentment with him for what the shit that he does. But as a black man, like you said, Chloe, I'm not going to take away from that man's accomplishments. And as a businessman, he does a damn thing. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. Yeah. Will I buy it? I don't know.
Go ahead, Felix.
This is why I'm unimpressed. Yes, Kanye inked a 10-year deal with Gap. But the reason Kanye didn't ink a 10-year deal with Gap before was a choice.
Oh, are you reverting to the slavery was a choice comment?
Yes. That's why I'm unimpressed, right? If everything's a fucking choice, this is unimpressive. You just decided to do this now. Fuck him.
I think Eli.
I mean, just piggybacking off of what Rob said, you know, he was able to flip Adidas, like, you know, within under a year, and not only be successful with Adidas, but be successful with his own brand. And also, we know that he's going to be successful with the Gap because one, the Gap has been around for this long. Two, they filed for bankruptcy. They're gonna be coming back with Kanye. Like it's a no-brainer because Gap is equivalent to Adidas, and the reason why I say that is because they have shown in the past that they do collaborate with up and coming designers. Saturday, Anwar, John Elliott, and a whole bunch of other collaborations that they've done in the past. So for them to ink a deal with Kanye for 10 years, for him to generate a billion, listen, they're going to be exceeding those sales, and the resale value is going to be on some shit too. Just going back to what Rob said, it's just like the resale value is going to be insane. People are going to eat it up. And the people that weren't buying from Gap before are going to be buying from Gap now. You understand what I'm saying? So with me, I'm riding with you guys. Like, you know, I'm still on the fence with Kanye because I don't feel like, you know, he does, you know, with his antics that he did with his album. Actually, the last bunch of albums that he's done, that's 7 albums. Saint Pablo. What's it called? This, you know, the everything that he did with Trump. You know, it's very, you know, it's very tongue in cheek, but at the same time, it's Kanye, man. Like it's gonna be hard for him to fail, and I feel like this rollout that he's doing right now is probably in the best because he's being quiet about it. Whatever he feels, he's writing it. Whatever he thinks, he's writing it. And if anything, he's staying to himself.
Well, I have this thing. We're saying that like he's doing a rollout that's not something that like every artist does now. When Jay-Z dropped 444, he announced his deal with Puma and announced like Roc Nation Sports, right? Like all of that was in the news cycle when that happened, right? But people were like, I get it. Like people like Jay-Z, so they didn't care. So it wasn't a lot. But you know, like I don't know anybody that wears Puma, but Jay-Z did a deal with Puma and he actually helped move their sales up. Rihanna the same thing when she had the Creepers, boosted Puma sales, right? So
Samsung too.
But there's a big difference between.
Oh yeah, when Hov did a deal with Samsung, who has a fucking Samsung phone?
Magna Carta,
yeah.
Right?
So what I'm just saying is that like I think we're just tired of Kanye because he's not doing anything different than other artists do when they have these projects come out. When Alicia Keys comes out, like she has like a makeup line come out with it or something like that. Rihanna hasn't given us an album in 6 years, and she just been giving us underwear.
Wait, that's enough. She's done wonders. She's done wonders for us. All right.
You ever took that off of a woman? Looks great, man. I take that over any album, bro. She can keep that. And I'm Bayesian, bro. So
all right.
She's done a lot for me.
We talked about the Gap deal. We don't care. So the consensus is we don't care about the album, even if it's mixed by Dr. Dre.
No, if it has Ultra Beam Part 2, I'm gonna listen, bro. I'm not gonna hold you.
I'm listening to that Dr. Dre and Kanye album.
Yeah,
all right, look.
I got to chime in on that.
You know me. I purposely haven't listened to a Kanye album for the last 3 albums. I have no interest.
All right, I want to hear what Q has to say.
I'm interested in it. Dre's back. We get to see what Kanye's gonna do now.
Thank you guys for watching. I'm Taurian B.
And I'm First Class Regg.
We'll catch you guys next time.